Welcome back to NTV at 1 and many thanks for staying with us. Let's continue. There are indications that the government is planning to reopen schools following a continued easing of the restrictions intended to curb or end the spread of COVID-19. However, there have been concerns about the safety of reopening schools without a cure or vaccine for COVID-19. To help us address the matter, we have Philbert Baguma. He's the of the Uganda National Teachers Union, and he joins me right now in studio. Very good afternoon, Mr. Philbert Baguma.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, let's get right into it because there's a pertinent issue and little time to delve into the whole questionnaire. Now, where do you, as UNATU, stand on plans to reopen schools after the shutdown in March, and why?
For us, as Uganda National Teachers Union, obviously we long to see schools reopen. And since March, a lot has happened.
Yes, sir.
Children have suffered. You have heard of those who have been impregnated. We have those who have been married off. A lot of things have happened. The teachers are also psychologically tortured. The parents are psychologically tortured. Our only challenge is the well-being of the teachers, of the learners, and other support staff that work within our schools. When you see what is in the field right now, not a lot has been done to the schools. And that means from the time we closed the institutions up to today, nothing much has changed on the institutions. And that reflects the unpreparedness on the part of government to reopen schools. Actually, even recently, instead of working on these institutions, government issued out a circular that heads of institutions should return the money. Instead of preparing the schools and preparing for reopening, they are now forcing head teachers to bring back the money, which is unfortunate. Because a school can never close. You have night watchmen who must keep in the school, to keep the school running. You have the compound. You cannot leave a school to be in a forest. You have to slash the compound. And we also have utilities. Where there is electricity, you cannot leave the school in darkness simply because the school is closed. And therefore, government itself has not done much in terms of reopening of institutions.
So let me get this straight, Mr. Philbert Baguma.
Yes.
Are you saying that government shouldn't reopen schools because they haven't done enough in the schools to ensure social distancing and so forth?
Obviously, the same government, through Ministry of Health, has come up with standard operating procedures. Right. And therefore, we would like to see them being implemented by the same government in a bid to reopen the schools.
Right. So, Mr. Philbert, what measures would you want to see instituted within the schools to ensure a safe reopening?
First of all, I would like to see the government's commitment towards preparation for reopening of schools. Because like I am telling you, if the schools are in the same shape like they were when they were closed,
yes,
looking at the standard operating procedures which are put in place, how ready are we to reopen schools is the issue.
So what are some of those pertinent measures that schools should be instituting?
First of all, they indicate that the school should have a fence and therefore one entrance and one exit to regulate the people who are coming in the school. There should be hand washing facilities at every entrance. That means the classrooms, if you have about 30, you expect to have about 30 hand washing facilities.
Right.
There should be fumigation. After every other day, you fumigate the classrooms. You are supposed to have 10 learners in every classroom. Now we have classrooms where we have over 100 learners. So that means you need more classrooms and you need more teachers. And therefore, when you look at all this, plus many others, the government needs to set aside money that is basically to do this.
And finally, Mr. Maguma, if you could advise school operators or government on the reopening, what would you say in 1 minute?
I would encourage government, first of all, to put aside a supplementary budget that is meant to prepare the institutions to reopen. 2, government should also embark on sensitizing the teachers, the learners, the parents and guardians as to prepare them for the reopening, because you might open the schools and the parents don't send their children because of the fear. Because we need to see a strategy how the teachers, the learners and other members who work in the school environment, how their safety will be, and therefore it is guaranteed that even when it happens, you are free.
Theobald Maguma, many thanks for having made the time to speak to NTV.
Thank you very much.
Well, you're still watching NTV at 1. Let's take a look at some of the other stories making headlines on the international